on this wonderful Monday morning. Ashley and I were just in the back room kind of talking about how this is like back to school week and it's a big week for a lot of people. So we appreciate you joining us on an early Monday morning. My name is Wendy Henricks. I'm with Alexander's Aesthetics. If you guys don't know Alexander's Aesthetics, which I'm sure you do, we are a distributor for skincare supplies, but we're much more than just a inventory supply store. We love to provide education to our community. We really partner with companies that believe in continuing to give more knowledge and more information so that you guys can grow your businesses. We're so happy today to have Ashley with us from ASCP. And ASCP is here in Colorado, which is where I'm at. So it's nice to be in the same state. Ashley is the executive director at ASCP, has a lot of really interesting background in marketing from small startup entrepreneurs, which you all are, we all are. And so she just has a wealth of knowledge. So we're so happy that she was able to partner with us to talk to us today about your guide to marketing and growth. Before we jump in, I just want to say that we will be answering questions throughout, so feel free to put it in the chat. And I know everyone's used to Zoom, but if you can take a minute to just put in where you are dialing in from, I just love to see where people are from around the country. It would be great. And you can go ahead and ask questions throughout, and I will ask the questions to Ashley. We do have this recorded as well, so we'll be sending out a recording afterward to all the people that attended. And anything else? Let me think. Oh, there is a survey at the very end. So if you can just stay on for a few minutes, that would be great. All right, we've got Northern Colorado, another Colorado gal, Berkeley, California, Ohio, Sonoma County, California. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much. All right, with that, I'm going to pass it off to Ashley. Thank you, Ashley. And you
Thank you.
can take it from here.
Awesome. Well, before I jump in, I just want to kind of echo what Wendy was saying. ASCP absolutely loves partnering with Alexander's Aesthetics, not only because of what they provide to the industry, but because of who they are as people. I think that everybody knows the amazing family legacy that Alexander's Aesthetics have, and I have just loved getting to know Wendy and her family and the ethics and the values and the integrity behind the brand. It's just really unmatched and makes you guys so easy and wonderful to partner with. So thank you for having
Thank
me.
you for saying that. Thank you.
Special. Like Wendy was saying, I am the executive director of Associated Skincare Professionals. And ASCP, for those who don't know, is a membership association, and we exist to provide protection and connection and education for all skincare professionals. We are the only association just for estheticians, and we take that really seriously. It means a lot to us to be able to uplift and uphold the standards and the values and the opportunities for the people in this industry. And so that's a little bit about ASCP and why we exist. And now a bit about me. Before joining ASCP about 2 years ago, I worked in early stage startups, specifically in the tech industry in marketing. And as a part of that, I marketed towards small business and solopreneurs in the hospitality and the wellness spaces. And so, in the last 15 years, I have learned a lot about what it means to build a business from the ground up. A lot of people are doing it on their own, and it's a lot of work. So, something that we do every year at ASCP is we survey our audience. We survey about 500,000 estheticians, and what you guys tell us all the time every year is that marketing your business and talking about yourselves is really overwhelming to you. A quick note, sort of one way dialogue is not sort of my thing. And so if you guys can, from time to time, I'll ask you a question, feel free to answer it in the chat, or I'll ask you to like signal to me through a thumbs up or a heart on the little emoji thing. So give me a little emoji, high five, thumbs up, whatever it is, if you also feel overwhelmed from time to time by the idea of marketing as an umbrella. If you think about marketing and sometimes feel like you don't really know where to start or what to do. All right, we're going to try to fix that today. We're going to try to answer some questions that we hear over and over again. So here is our roadmap today. And our roadmap is going to go through the what, the why, and the how of really creating a marketing strategy that serves your business. Marketing is deeply personal, and it would kind of be a disservice for me to sit here today and pretend to offer these quick tricks or these hacks that apply broadly to everybody who is a part of this webinar, because they don't really exist. The magic of marketing, so to speak, is really creating a process and a system that is as unique to you as everything else in your business, right? The service that you provide, the brand that you have, the customer service that you have. Your marketing should be as specific and unique and personal as all of those things. So that's really what we're going to focus on today. We're going to talk about the what, the why, and the how of creating marketing processes and strategies that fit you. One quick note, this QR code will take you to a roadmap. So it is a downloadable that will allow you to kind of go through and apply the things that we're talking about today to your business specifically. You don't need to download it right now, but if at some point you feel like, you know what, I'd like a little bit more action items from this marketing webinar, that's the place for you to get it. And you can go through and you can really work on individualizing some of these concepts to yourself. So we're going to dig pretty deep today. We have about an hour to kind of go through all of the things that I have learned in the last 15 years of marketing early stage startups. So we're going to go fast because we don't have a ton of time. And I really want to pack some of the most valuable things that I've learned into our time together. So grab your pen, your paper, your coffee, and we're taking off. So why really think like a startup? This is so important to me because as estheticians, as solopreneurs, as skincare professionals, you can really harness the startup mindset, the kind of scale fast mindset to create these efficient, impactful, and really long lasting future ready businesses. There are three main characteristics of a startup's output. So we're going to talk through those right now. Startup founders really think of themselves as founders and owners of their business. They go into it with an eye for scalability, with an eye for making things bigger and making things more revenue driven, more efficient, more impactful, all of those things. And a lot of times, skincare professionals or small business owners in general, they get into the weeds on things and they act a lot like operators of businesses, right? They're in their business, they're working for their business instead of on their business, if you've ever kind of heard that turn of phrase. And so today we're really going to try to think of ourselves not as operators of our businesses, but as owners and as founders of our businesses. So there are some really key things that startup founders and owners and business owners have in common. So we're going to do a little exercise. And since you're not in front of me and you can't raise your hands, if you guys will give me some comments in the chat if this resonates with you, or some little emojis, that would be awesome. So raise your hand or say heck yes in the chat if any of the following statements applies to you. Okay. You are your human resources manager. You are your administrative assistant. You are your entire marketing department. And this one's kind of scary. You are your tech support. You are your IT department, right? You kind of see where I'm going with this. It's you. It's all you. And the truth is that no one is coming to handle growing your business for you. Startup founders, they also wear all the hats. And if you want to scale your skincare business, you really want to start thinking like a startup. You want to be agile, creative, and ready to build a business with systems that allow you to grow. So we're going to dig into kind of each of these concepts: creativity, agility, and scalability, and talk about how they apply to your business. All right. So there are three main characteristics of a startup's output. To grow quickly and efficiently with a very lean team, Oftentimes, a team of one. How many people on this call are a team of one or two? How many of you have like a very, very small team? Comment in the chat for me. So, in order to grow quickly and efficiently with a very lean team, startups operate to make sure that everything that they do are these three things. They want to make sure that everything that they do is scalable, teachable, and replicable. So, let's dive into why each of these specifically matters and how it applies to your skincare business. So first one is scalability. Scalability just means it's capable of being easily expanded or upgraded on demand. So easily and on demand are kind of the two key pieces of that definition. So you want to design systems for growth. You want to build for the business that you want to have, even if it's not the business that you have right now, right? If you think about your 5-year vision, your 10-year plan, you want to set up systems for that business, not the one that you have today, because that way you're future proofing your business with your systems and making sure that you don't have to go back and reinvent the wheel every single time that you grow. You don't have to rethink your intake process, your booking process, your rebooking process, your email marketing, any of those things as you start to get more clients, right? You also want to leverage technology and people to free up your time. You want to automate and delegate. There are so many platforms out there right now for everything from design to booking to marketing, accounting, project management, and many of them are free to very, very low cost, which is absolutely incredible and such an opportunity for us. So make sure that you're truly utilizing what's available to you and setting it up in a way so that your systems are as automated as possible and able to win you back some of your incredibly important time, right? That is your most valuable asset, is your time. And lastly, to be scalable, you want to prepare for success. You want to bet on yourself and just assume that that 5-year plan that you have, that 5 or 10-year vision, it is going to happen. So don't wait until you're overwhelmed. Build those scalable systems today. And scalability and the importance of this, it doesn't just apply to small businesses, right? It applies to Fortune 500 companies as well. And a quick example of how this works. In the early 2000s, Starbucks, a company that we all know and some of us love, Starbucks is kind of divisive, but it was experiencing explosive growth. They were opening 6 new stores every single day, and they were rapidly expanding across the United States and globally. However, this aggressive expansion plan was leading to some pretty big problems operationally. They were experiencing diluted customer service. They had operational strain. They were seeing declining sales. So Starbucks brought in their OG CEO, Howard Schultz, and he was the former CEO. He returned in 2008 to address some of these really big issues. And the very first thing that he did was stop everything. He halted expansion. He closed 600 underperforming stores and he refocused on improving operations and that incredibly important customer service. He introduced scalable systems to help Starbucks grow sustainably. He did things like standardize operations across stores while allowing local customization. He invested in barista training to improve that customer service, and he upgraded their technology to include mobile orders and payments. So that just goes to show you that any business that grows too fast without scalable systems risks sacrificing quality, consistency, and customer loyalty. So when new clients flood in and you add new services, the systems that worked for your earlier operation may not cut it. So the key is really to build systems for the business that you want to have, even if it's not the one that you have today. And what that means is that you have to think about what that looks like. You have to be forward thinking and kind of future thinking and be able to say, without question, in 5 years, this is my goal. Here's what it looks like. Here's what I want my business to look like. Here's the number of appointments that I want per week. This is the number of services that I want to offer. Here's maybe what my menu might look like. Even some revenue modeling. All of those specifics will help you to make sure that you are creating scalable systems. So here is an example, scalability in practice. What if instead of having a written intake form that you have clients fill out that you have to manually convert to digital or scan, right? if scanners were still a thing. I think they are. We actually have one, but they're hard to find. They're going the way of the floppy disk. So instead of that, what if you built an online intake form using a free platform like Google Forms or Jotform? You then linked this form in your client confirmation emails, which client confirmation emails drastically decrease no shows, and it also upholds any of your cancellation policies that you might have. So, really, really important to have confirmation emails. So you link that form so that they can go ahead and fill it out, and then you make sure that that form automatically feeds into your client notes or a CRM like Square or Pocket Suite, right? That could save 15 minutes at a minimum per new client at the beginning of their appointment. It also makes sure that when you have new clients who come in at their appointment time and then they have paperwork to do, that you're not making them run late and thereby making yourself run late for the rest of the day. So creating a consistent experience and saving you that time is really, really important. And this is just one example of scalability in practice. 15 minutes per new client across, let's call it, 40 new clients a year is a lot of time that's saving you. And it's also really upholding the integrity of your client experience. Number two is you want everything that you do to be teachable. So this is really important because as your business grows, again, you may be the person the only person in your business right now, but that may not always be the case. And it's really important to be able to have systems and processes that you can pass off to other people when it is time. So it's about delegating. It's about being able to trust other people with your processes and uphold a standard that you are able to set and then have it be reliable when you're able to teach it to somebody else. So think of it as creating a playbook for your spa. Any process that you find yourself doing over and over again that isn't mission critical, that isn't founder level, owner level thinking, that isn't strategic, is an opportunity to make sure that what you're building is being built in a way that it can eventually be passed off to someone else. So, a quick exercise. I'm going to give you guys about 20 seconds, and you guys can answer this in the chat. And I want you to list as many things as you can that you do over and over in your business that are just rote processes, right? A hint, laundry is one of these things, right? What are the rote tasks in your business that are not critical, that are not strategic, that are not moving you forward on a daily basis? They're just kind of the have to do's. I want you guys to write some of those down. All right. So whether you wrote down booking appointments, tracking and ordering inventory, posting on social media, all of the things that you thought of and that you wrote down, these are the areas that you want to be able to outsource first. And in order to outsource and hire effectively, you have to have systems that are teachable. You have to be able to delegate with confidence and also free up your own time when that happens for strategy, client experience, and business development, right? Creating new revenue. So an example of teachability in action, here's what this can look like. An esthetician may be feeling maxed out, juggling appointments, answering calls, cleaning rooms, worrying about restocking shelves, sanitation, all of those things, all while trying to be composed and professional for her clients. So she gets to a place where she's able to hire part-time front desk help, which is amazing. In this case, she hires a high school senior who's looking for after hours work and who's also interested in skincare. So a real win-win, kind of teaching somebody up who could be in the industry in the future, as well as finding some help that is much needed. So instead of spending weeks training this person, this esthetician spent 2 hours creating a simple SOP or standard operating procedure. And she made it a Google Doc with a script for answering the phone, step-by-step checkout instructions, and an FAQ, answers to the most common client questions. Now, every time a new team member shows up, even if that high school student isn't able to stay for a very long time, let's say after summer they go back to school and they have different schedules and needs and they are not able to work there anymore. Now, every time this esthetician hires a new team member, they have a playbook, they have that SOP, and the business owner has peace of mind. And this can be an iterative process, right? You may create an SOP and there may be things that you realize aren't in there. You can continually add to it. You can have your team members add to it. It can become kind of this living, breathing, co-authored document that supports your business processes. This is really the power of documenting what you do. It is so that someone else can help you do it without having to ask a million questions, with them feeling empowered and with you feeling like you're not constantly playing a game of whack-a-mole every time something comes up for them, right? When you're an ASCP member, you're already starting from a really strong place of confidence and a good foundation, because we do offer at Associated Skincare Professionals, we offer business templates, policies, and ready to use forms that you can adapt for your own SOPs. So it gives you a really good starting place. So whether you're onboarding an assistant or hiring a teammate, or you're just trying to streamline, you don't need to be a micromanager, right? Most founders and owners that you talk to, micromanaging people is their nightmare. It is not the thing that they want to spend their time doing, right? And estheticians that we talk to feel similarly. They want to run their businesses and they want to take care of their clients. Those are the two most important things to them. So this way, if you have teachable systems in place, you can function more like the CEO that you are. Number 3 is you want to make sure that all of your systems are replicable, right? Running a spa is a lot of hard work. We know this. Everyone on this call knows this, right? So why are we making it harder on ourselves by starting from scratch every single time we do things? Successful startups create replicable systems and they repeat over and over and over again what works. In the startup world, there's actually a term for this. We call it productizing your output. So it is creating a product out of a system, turning your process of output into a product. They create systems that make tasks really easy to replicate, saving time and ensuring that very important consistency. So let's break it down into what this can look like. Number 1, repurpose your content, right? There is a saying in the marketing world that by the time you've said something 7 times, someone has heard you once. And so there's an idea that people have on social media and in email marketing that they get tired. We get tired of our own voices, right? But that is okay, because your customer base, your audience, they're super busy. And so they're not keyed into every single thing that you're saying. So you really don't need to worry about repeating yourself or repurposing your content. If they have already seen it, they'll scroll by. But for the people who haven't seen it yet, it's another opportunity for them to lock in and get that value and make that connection. So one single customer success story could be 10 pieces of marketing content for you. Create once, distribute forever. You do not need to reinvent the wheel every single week. Stretch your content further and make sure that the content that you create is working for you, because skincare professionals are not full-time content creators. And so that is one piece of the marketing puzzle that we hear a lot as being really overwhelming for people, is they feel like in this era of social media that you have to be an esthetician and an influencer and a content creator. And there's only one of you. You cannot clone yourself. So making systems that are replicable and repeating processes makes it so that you are spending less effort and you're making things more efficient for you in terms of the way that you distribute that content. Number 2 is using templates and systems. So make sure that you're creating email templates for things like client confirmations, for promotions, for holiday messaging or seasonal messaging, things like that. And then make sure that you're setting up workflows for that client onboarding and appointment follow-ups, right? Even if you retail online, having templates for those things is really important. And then make sure that you are also standardizing your client experience. You want to develop consistent service protocols and a customer experience, so that when they refer you, when your clients refer you, they can know and you can know that the friend or the acquaintance that they send to your business will get the same level of incredible service that they got, right? So replicability in practice. Here is an example of how we do this at ASCP. At ASCP, we produce a podcast. It is an incredible podcast called Esty Talk, and we release a new episode of Esty Talk once a week. Every single Wednesday, we release a new episode of Esty Talk. And every time we release a podcast episode as a team, we know that we are going to turn that one single podcast episode into one blog post, one newsletter feature, two audio clips, an Instagram feed post, two Instagram stories, a Facebook post, a LinkedIn post, and a YouTube video. So we managed to leverage 10 pieces of distributable content from one single podcast episode every single week. That is a gold mine for us in terms of impressions and shareability, but it also saves us so much time to know that this is our playbook. This is our distribution playbook. On the flip side, imagine if every single week our team got together on a Tuesday and we said, guys, Esty Talk is coming out on Wednesday. What do we want to do with it this week? How are we going to get this in front of our audience? It would feel like a constant fire drill, and it would create a lot of stress for our team. And it would also make that content distribution a lot less successful. So make sure that you have systems in place and playbooks in place that allow you to not have to answer the same question over and over again. We're going to talk a little bit about a founder's funnel or a marketing funnel or a conversion funnel, just the funnel, if you want to call it that. There's really no correct name for it, but this is kind of a traditional marketing funnel. And this is a really essential tool that you can use to understand your marketing efforts and make them more effective. So, like I said at the beginning, ASCP does a lot of audience research. And every year when we talk to about 500,000 wellness professionals, one thing that we hear over and over again is that marketing is a very real pain point for a lot of people, and it causes a lot of overwhelm for the small business owners that are a part of our membership. And I think a lot of that is because most estheticians believe that they have a marketing problem. But they really have a conversion clarity problem. So they don't necessarily know where their leads are coming from, where their new clients are coming from, and where their referrals are coming from. So they don't really know how many people they need to have enter their funnel in order to reach their goals, right? Which is a really important understanding to be able to have, is to be able to say, this is how many new leads I need every year. This is how many new customers I need every year. Or this is the percent of existing customers that I need to come back in order to meet my financial goals. And so because people have a conversion clarity problem, they don't really understand what's happening in their funnel. They don't know how many channels, how many marketing channels to play in. They don't know if they should do TikTok and Instagram and LinkedIn and Facebook, right? Spoiler alert, don't do all of that. It's way too much. It's way too overwhelming. But so people end up doing too much. They end up throwing like all the spaghetti at the wall, and they don't really know what it is that is making a difference. And so they end up with this feeling that we hear about over and over again, that they're spreading their efforts so thin and they can't point to the things that are working or the things that aren't working, right? They're not able to tell a difference. So the goal with understanding our funnel is that no effort is wasted. So we're going to do a little kind of funnel mapping exercise. But first, we're going to talk about the goals of each funnel stage and then get into the fun part, which is the tactics. That's the part that I love because it's the part that you get to make a difference in your business. So the top of the funnel is where you attract. The goal here is to just get attention and traffic, right? It doesn't have to be high intent. It doesn't have to be warm. It's just eyes on your business. That's all it is. The second stage is nurture. This is where you take those eyes and you make sure that you stay top of mind for that audience until they are ready, until you can meet a need that they have in the moment. The third stage is convert, right? This is where you turn those browsers into buyers. They set an appointment, they become a customer. The fourth stage, this is where skincare professionals absolutely shine. This is where you deliver. You wow them with your incredible client experience and your services. And the fifth stage is delight. This is where the goal is to keep them coming and also to turn them into advocates for your brand. In order to grow, you really need to understand not only what each of these stages is for in terms of a goal, but where those things happen, what marketing channels that happens. So, we're going to take a minute and kind of talk through where each of these funnel stages, where the conversion, where the nurturing, where the awareness typically happens. So, local SEO on the awareness side is a really great place to get eyes on your business. Things like reels, events, partnerships, affiliates, right? These are great ways to get eyes on your business. And then in terms of nurturing those leads, that's where an email list comes into play. That's where the before and afters, the testimonials, the education content, the thing that takes people from window shopping and brings them in the door of your business happen in this stage. In terms of conversion, this is where you want to leverage things like sample treatments, low barrier bookings, like a lunchtime facial or an express, things like that, as well as intro offers to convert people and turn those browsers into buyers. On the fourth stage, this is the client experience part where you wow them and you deliver thoughtful onboarding, exceptional touch points, and of course, the thing that nobody struggles with, unmatched results, kind of putting your fingerprint and your special sauce on the treatment and the experience piece of it. And then make sure that they're able to easily come back and easily refer other people to your business. They've had a great experience. Make it as easy as you can for them to leverage that into their next experience or somebody else's experience. So things like rebooking prompts, referral incentives, and client appreciation, whether that's an event or a gift, anything like that, will help turn this from a transactional experience into a connected experience for your clients. So here are the questions that you can kind of go through and ask yourself in order to make sure that your funnel is working. Okay. What is currently attracting people to your business? Is it working? Is it scalable? If the answer is no, you need to rework that stage of your funnel. Do you have a system to warm up cold leads, to take people from outside window shopping and bring them into your store? On the convert side, are you offering something that makes it completely irresistible for a lead to try you out for the first time? If the answer is no, what can you offer? A quick note on this, there's no right or wrong way to do this, but I think that deep discounts are a really detrimental thing for a small business owner. And I want to talk a little bit about why, just so that there's no confusion about what I'm saying in terms of an offer. I'm not talking about deep discounts. Research shows like there are psychological decisions being made when people make a purchasing decision. And research shows that if somebody purchases your service or your product at a deep discount, they expect that discount to continue. And if the discount does not continue, they're less likely to buy. And so you are, without meaning to, by offering deep discounts, you could be diluting the value of your offering and you could be making it harder for people to repurchase from you. So just a quick note on what that offer could be. Discounts actually don't make you irresistible. They just make you less valuable in the eyes of the consumer. And then in terms of delivery, what part of your client experience turns clients into forever fans? If you don't know the answer to this question, you should ask your clients because they would love to tell you. You have people in front of you all day long. So get it from the horse's mouth. Ask them, what was your favorite part of your client experience today? Is there anything that I could do to make this a more exceptional experience for you? Do you have any ideas on how I could make my brand more irresistible? Any of those questions consumers love it when a business cares enough about them and is invested enough in them to ask them those questions, right? Think about the last time that a brand or a service provider asked you those questions and how much that would turn it again from transactional into relational for you. So you have a wealth of knowledge in front of you in terms of your client base. Feel free to use it. And then lastly, on the delight side, the question you want to ask yourself is, how easy is it for your happiest clients to bring others to you? Most often, when your best clients refer people, it's going to be people like them. It's going to be the people who live in their neighborhood, who go to their kids' schools, who go to the same gym as them. And so if you've got people who are your, we call it an ICP in the marketing world, it's your ideal client profile. If you've got people in front of you who are your ideal client, ask them to send people who are usually a lot like them, right? It just kind of increases the width of the center of your bullseye there. All right. So that is the founder's funnel, and I absolutely love it as a tool. And now we're going to talk a little bit about the tactical piece of it. So I want to talk to you a little bit about tools for marketing. We have talked a lot about kind of the mindset piece of building a scalable, teachable, and replicable spa business. But most estheticians don't have a huge marketing team or a big budget or unlimited hours or a board of directors or any of those things. So, how do you actually take those principles and put them into everyday practice without burning out or breaking the bank? We are going to walk through the $0 marketing stack. And then next, we're going to walk through a 1 hour marketing plan to make sure that you know what this could actually look like for your business. Now, like I said at the beginning, there are no such thing as one size fits all marketing platform stack or marketing plans, but these are just some ideas that you might be able to use. You do not need a huge budget to grow. You need smart tools and systems. So what we're looking at here is the $0 marketing stack. Now, if you are sitting there thinking, what the heck is a marketing stack? That is a great question. Marketing stack is just a fancy term for any set of tools that you use to attract, book, engage, and rebook your clients, right? So think of it as similar to a skincare routine and what you would recommend for a client, right? Hopefully, you are not recommending 30 products to your client, nor do you need 30 platforms in your marketing stack. You need the right ones that work together, and it needs to be simple enough to execute, right, on a daily basis. So ASCP members already get access to several things on this list. You get free and discounted offerings from companies like Qnity, Square, Pocket Suite, website builders, and more, plus a library of intake and consent forms that you can drop into things like Google Forms for a professional look and legal peace of mind. But these tools on this list cover everything from booking to intake to content creation, email marketing, social, and then the referral flywheel or like online reviews that are really important. So together, all of this or some of this even would be more than enough to attract new clients and keep your regulars coming back. So now that you've kind of seen the tools that you can use in a marketing stack, the next question is, how do I actually use all of this? 1 hour a week. Okay, that is what I would like to see all skincare professionals spend on their marketing, because my gut instinct tells me, just based on the conversations that I have in the industry, as well as some of our survey results and just some of our in the moment kind of dialogues with our members, is that a lot of skincare professionals are spending way too much time on marketing for their business. And it's just really not as effective as it could be if they were super concentrated, really deliberate, incredibly intentional with their time. So 1 hour a week is really all it takes to stay visible, stay connected, and do what you're best at without feeling like marketing is your full-time job, right? Because we know that it is not our full-time job. So think of it this way. Each of these blocks are 15-minute blocks, and each of the things that are next to them shows what you can do within that 15-minute block. So in a 15-minute block, you could schedule 4 posts for a week, 4 social posts for a week. In a 15-minute block, you could respond to DMs and Google reviews. In a 15-minute block, you can record and edit three 1-minute videos. And you could email past clients and request testimonials or referrals from them. So this is just like to show you that bite-sized marketing can make a really big difference in your business. And sometimes when you do like physically set a timer and give yourself constraints, you're able to accomplish a lot more because it takes away the procrastination piece, and it also takes away the kind of spiraling and saying, well, what do I want to do with this time? And you already have a plan. You've got it mapped out and you have a finite amount of time to execute it. So it creates more accountability within that. So you don't need to post every single day. You don't need to reinvent your brand every quarter. You do not need to spend hours upon hours upon hours being reactive to what other people you see are doing. You need to stay in your lane and run your own race and do it in a way that is scalable and not overwhelming to you as a whole human and a person, right? So show up consistently. That's really what helps you build trust, stay on top of mind, and turn those new clients into regulars. Here are just some of the ways that ASCP can help with all of these things. Like I said, we really consider ourselves kind of the all-in-one membership for skincare professionals, and that does include a lot of marketing resources. We have a website builder. We have over 50 member discounts on things that a lot of skincare professionals are spending money on anyways, things like Verizon, Qnity, Square. We have ironclad intake and consent forms. We have 400 plus on-demand education webinars that we add to all the time based on what's happening in the industry. We've got an incredible magazine called Skin Deep. We have the Skin Pro app, which is a professional product and ingredient lookup tool that's just really at a glance at your fingertips anytime you need it. And then lots of business planning tools like pricing calculators. How should you actually price your services? How should you price your menu in order to meet your revenue goals? Marketing checklists, and a lot more. So before we wrap up, I do really want to share some of the marketing trends that are making waves this year, because the world of marketing changes faster than almost any other area of business. And in 2025, it's really no different. It's changing, daily, honestly. If you look at what's happening with TikTok right now or with AI, it is changing at warp speed. And so it can feel like a lot of pressure to keep up with all those changes, as well as it can infuse a lot of doubt into what you're currently doing. And so we'll talk through a couple of these trends. But before I dive in, I want to say really clearly that not every trend is worth your time. Okay. I don't want to sit here and go through the 5 of these things and for you guys to feel like this is a to-do list, because it is not. I do not want you to walk away from this webinar and feel like you have to be playing in every single one of these channels. In fact, I would much prefer that you choose 1 or 2 and do it well. Do it consistently and forget that the others even exist, because that's the thing that makes a difference in marketing is consistency. It's doing things, it's showing up in the same place over and over and over again so that your audience and your client base know what to expect, right? All right, so knowing which trends to implement and which ones to toss out is a really important part of this conversation. But let's break down some actionable marketing trends for 2025 that may be worth paying attention to, or that may be worth putting on your list of marketing channels that you want to try for your business. So number 1 is hyper personalization. It is more challenging than ever to get and keep a customer's attention. The noise that we are all bombarded with daily, constantly, minute to minute, second to second, is at an all-time high. And as a result, generic marketing is really losing its efficacy overall. Your clients want to feel like you see them, right? That they're not being lumped in with the rest of the world, that they are important and individual to you. So using tools like email marketing segmentation to send personalized skincare tips or product recommendations, birthday discounts, birthday, even just a happy birthday, honestly, without a discount goes a long way these days. But the more personal, the better. Number two is short form video dominance. Video is not going anywhere. It has been a trend for many, many years. But thanks to platforms like Instagram Reels, TikToks, and YouTube Shorts, short form video dominance is at an all time high. Now, pair that trend with how beautifully skincare plays on video, and there is a real opportunity to grow your business with short form video. So, a quick 15-second video showcasing a facial technique or sharing skincare tips for the summer or for the winter can reach thousands of potential clients and position you as an expert. It can also help them put a face to a name, which in the very personal business of skincare is important to a lot of customers. But don't overthink it. Video can be really intimidating for people. And I always say, just start posting, see what happens. The results will speak for themselves, and it will make you less nervous once you see that people don't care if you are perfect on video. They just want to see that there is a person behind the company that they're supporting. Number three is local SEO or Google My Business. Before booking a treatment, where do clients search? Google still wins every single time. AI is close behind. And I do believe if I were a betting woman, I would bet that more people will be searching via AI in the next 18 months than they are on Google. But for now, Google is still winning. So make sure that your Google My Business profile is up to date with services, hours, and reviews. That local SEO, make sure that your very local business dependent business pops up every time somebody is searching nearby and wanting to book something. Number four is user-generated content, or UGC. One of the most powerful marketing tools for estheticians is social proof. So real client testimonials and content. So you can kind of encourage people to give you UGC by incentivizing clients to share photos or videos of their glowing skin after treatments, with permission, of course. You can repost your client stories on Instagram, or you can feature reviews on your website or social channels or via email, and build trust that will help you attract new clients, because people do trust people more than they trust ads. And kind of the chasm of trust and ads and brands is becoming wider and wider and wider. So the more you can make your business personable and connected and relational, the higher that trust is going to be. And UGC and social proof will help support that. And then lastly, and probably my favorite of all of the trends, is community-centered marketing. And the reason that I love this trend so much is because the more virtually connected we become, the more disconnected people report feeling. There is a loneliness epidemic in our culture, and people really want to feel as though they are a part of something. And so we have a beautiful opportunity here to both build a business that supports our lives and makes money and makes a difference in our communities and in our world. So doing things like offering exclusive memberships or hosting VIP nights or putting on client appreciation events, all of these things build a loyal community that gives people a chance to be a part of something, gives people a chance to connect, keeps those clients coming back, and gets them talking about your business. So a quick note, notice that nowhere in these trends do I talk about or suggest making social media your entire personality. And there's a reason that I don't talk about social media a whole lot when I talk about marketing. And first, it's because social media is a part of a very large puzzle. It can be a supporting mechanism for a really great, robust marketing strategy, but over indexing on social media can be a really risky thing to do, right? We have all watched people over index on things like TikTok and then live to pay the price or be really worried about what happens to that platform next. Things like algorithms, shadow banning, shutdowns, right? It's it's really dangerous and there's a price to pay for making one social media channel that someone else owns your bread and butter for your marketing. So I instead recommend on focusing on owned marketing channels, right? So think about TikTok or Facebook or Instagram as a rented or a leased marketing channel in the sense that your landlord, Mark Zuckerberg, could wake up tomorrow and push a big red button and it all goes away. Okay. It doesn't mean that that is not a place that you should play. It's just not where you want to invest all of your marketing equity. You really want to invest your marketing equity in a house that you own. So you want to point all the traffic from your rented channels like social media to your owned channels like your website or your newsletter list. Things that somebody can't wake up and turn off on a whim. So build your equity in a marketing house that is yours, that you own. And in order to really scale smart with some of these trends and these tricks, like I said, I would pick one, maybe two, if you have a little bit of a team who can help support you, and pick some things that align with your brand and align with your values and your voice and build from there. And then, very importantly, make sure that you're tracking results. Make sure that you say, these are the goals associated with these channels. And if I don't meet the goals, then I'm going to try something different and keep kind of reworking your marketing stack until it supports you and does what you want it to do. You do not need to do everything. You should not do everything. We are partners and siblings and children and parents and parts of communities. We are whole people outside of our jobs. And so the last thing that I ever want is for the marketing conversation to make people feel like they have to work more. A really good marketing strategy should mean that you actually have to work a little bit less. You're working smarter, not harder. So you do need to do the right things and do them consistently. And that is how you will grow your business. So I want you guys to remember that you are the visionary leaders of your business, right? Nobody is coming along to do these things for you. And that is a real opportunity because nobody could come along and do them the way that you will do them. Your voice, your brand, your personality, your fingerprint, your marketing strategy should be as unique as those things. And so don't try to be like everybody else out there. Be like you, differentiate yourself, and that will make a huge difference for your business. I could talk about marketing forever. And so if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me directly. And then I don't know, Wendy, if we had any questions in the chat, let me know and we can kind of talk through some of those as well.
We don't have any questions yet, but that was such a great talk. And even as a business owner of multiple employees, I learned so many tips. So any questions from anyone out there? We would love to kind of open this up and get some dialogue going. I thought it was interesting the way you talked about social media as well, because that's kind of what we hear about a lot. And so that was a good perspective.
Yeah. And I mean, there are a lot of, we live in the age where so many, especially kind of students in skincare or even just students across the board, like being and wanting to be an influencer is one of the top job, like aspirational professions right now. So
Interesting.
there is kind of a difference in using social media as a part of your marketing strategy. And for people who truly do want to be an influencer first and
Mhm.
a skincare professional second, then that may change the way that you prioritize your social
Mm-hmm.
media presence.
Okay. Interesting. I have a question, and if one of our attendees has a question, I'll bump it up before I do. But how do you increase your listings on AI? Because I've been hearing about this a lot, and of course we know about SE, Google SEO and how to do all those things, but we haven't found out much information yet on getting the listings up. Do you have any pointers for everybody on that?
I do, and I'll say as a caveat or a a asterisk before I start is it's changing daily.
Yeah.
And we're learning a lot daily on organic search and how AI is affecting that. But so
Hmm.
historically with SEO, you have had what you call short tail keywords, and people rank for things like I'll use ASCP as an example. ASCP would rank for skincare insurance,
Hmm.
esthetician insurance, esthetician association, right? Things that are very short tail. And
Hmm.
now the content that's being created that is long tail is surfacing more in AI
Hmm.
search. So
Hmm.
things like, what is the best association for skincare professionals is a
Right.
long tail search term.
Got it. Okay.
Kind of reworking your keyword strategy to
Mm-hmm.
support long tail versus short tail is a big shift for content creators.
Okay, that's really good to know because I do keep hearing about that at some of the industry events that we go to, about how people are, changing that. So that's an important piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can also, as a business, I mean, there's so much strategy behind it, but as a business, you can feed AI information
Hmm.
about your business. And
Hmm.
so when you put things into LLMs or large language models like ChatGPT, you're constantly teaching that platform. And so if
Okay.
you are using AI in your business, in a way,
Uh-huh.
it's feeding the wheel of making sure that that platform also knows about your business.
Interesting. Okay. Thank you so much. Well, Ashley, I always love hearing your perspective. I hope that was very helpful for everybody. It's really, really good to get these pointers on just how to scale our business, like Ashley said in the very beginning. We got to thank you. Um, it is information overload world, and so having these little pointers is, and kind of getting back to the roots of what we're here for and how we do this, is really important. So we're getting a few thank yous in. It was very helpful.
You got
um,
so much.
yes, so thank you, Ashley. I will go ahead and send this video out so you guys have this video to watch again. Hopefully you were able to get that QR code to sign up to get that download, which is very helpful. And if you can just stay on for a couple minutes, it would be great to get some survey responses. It maybe it's 9 questions max, but it does help us just to make our education program a little bit more effective. So thank you so much. And Ashley, I will see you next week in Dallas, which I'm excited for.
Thanks, Wendy. It was good to see you. Do you want me to stop sharing my screen?
Sure, you can do that. And I don't want to mispronounce his name, Mons Garcia. Yes, we will be putting this up on our on-demand platform, and we will go ahead and send that out to everybody who attended and also actually everybody that signed up as well. So thank you. All right, everybody, have a wonderful day.